Welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 of the Augusta Prep podcast, also known as CavsCast. My name's Chris Gay. I'm the Director of Communications, and I'm here today with Head of School, Eric Hedinger. And the first thing I want to ask, I'm curious, how many people get your last name wrong? They pronounce it wrong.
A lot of people pronounce it wrong. That's kind of the fun part of it, Chris. Hedinger, Hedinger. There's probably some other forms that people use as well to slander the name. My grandmother that lived to 101 claimed that it was Hedinger with a hard G, so I honor her with that of Hedinger. But I respond to most things, from H to Mr. Hedinger to Hedinger. You got me as hello.
I kind of like Mr. H, so we can always go with that.
I'm a fan of the initial.
So you've been on the job roughly 7 months, if my math is correct. And in your wildest imagination, coming here to Augusta Prep from Charlotte, could you have ever imagined getting a new nickname?
No. The nickname that I was given, I never anticipated in life. I'm proud to wear it as a moniker, but you're going to reveal the nickname, aren't you?
Well, for the people who might not know, the nickname obviously is Chainsaw.
It is Chainsaw.
And can you please tell us how that originated?
Sure. So, first we had a natural disaster.
Yes, we did.
Over 200 trees that fell on this campus, and I'm an avid chainsawer. When I can cut down a tree, it's a fun thing to do in a healthy way. But I went out with Oliver Spratt, he and I, and we decided we wanted to open up some of the campus. And so I had my trusted chainsaw. I started to chainsaw. You were kind enough to actually videotape that, and we put it out on social media. And the chain reaction was really positive. People started to pick up on it. And at the Southern Association of Independent Schools conference within the region, I was actually a lead person that was shown on the screen, and really SAIS President Brett Jacobson, great thought leader, was complimenting and celebrating how people are resilient within communities and showcased me. And from there, people all over the Southeast started to call me Chainsaw, and I got some fun text messages, so it seems to have stuck.
What a percentage of heads of school across the United States do you think own chainsaws?
Statistically, I'd say 10 to 15%. Yeah, probably own those. And I made up that statistic, so they're accurate, I'm sure.
That's okay. No one's going to verify. So you didn't purchase a chainsaw because of Hurricane Helene. You already had it.
By no means, yes. I already had it. Actually, over the years, for my own properties or friends' properties, felling a tree is something that I've enjoyed doing. I like the geometry. I like making the cuts, and felt just comfortable to that where, bringing it forward to here mattered.
So some people play golf. You cut down trees.
Not limited to.
Oh, no, okay.
It is. I would not rank that as my number one hobby. It is a hobby of need, not a hobby of habit and use always. But yes, it's been fun.
Could you ever, in your wildest imagination, moving down here this past summer, thinking, I'm going to bring my chainsaw, ever actually having to use it?
No, I did not fathom that idea. In fact, even with the hurricane coming, we never thought it would come over Augusta. It had a totally different trajectory until probably 1 a.m. But the morning I woke up and saw the devastation of trees, the fallen trees, I knew my resource could be of value. The chainsaw came out.
Yes, and it was put to good use.
Thank you.
Okay, so you started in July, and you've had a hurricane, you've had a snowstorm, a rare snowstorm, too, to come through Augusta. Right. Along with everything else that comes with being a head of school, just in general, what's it been like so far?
Very positive. People could have easily looked at a natural disaster or even the snowstorms as like, these are game changers and not live with an optimistic mindset. I live with an optimistic mindset. It's kind of my positive joy of life. My superpower is I see things as opportunities, even if there's a negative moment happening. And for me, especially the hurricane situation, I found it to be one that joined a community together. It helped a community, I think, to value my leadership, in certain regards, to trust me quicker. Trust is something that has to grow over time, and it takes a lot of moments of communications, interactions to get trust. I really think that was a positive opportunity, serendipity, that people, I think, now trust me, that I can find solutions. I'm a thought leader that doesn't have one option. I like to have 4 different options, and I think in that regard. So in all of those situations, it was a tough time to live through. I lived without power like many in the community. I did not leave the area. I was here every day with the campus. But in that vein, it was one to care for the community. And care and safety is what I'm here for. It is the number one thing that a head of school should do. And much like the snow days, those are tough decisions. You're thinking, well, I've seen snowstorms before, and what ifs, and really deciding on the side of safety is best for our students and travel. And we made the right decisions in almost all of those situations.
Do people in Charlotte know how to drive in snow better than people in Augusta? Because we don't know how to deal with snow and ice.
That's a fair question, and not to be overly judgmental, Charlotte knows a little bit more.
Okay.
They may use a little more brine on their streets and make it a little more passable, but until you're up there a little further north, I don't think the fear of snow leaves. It's pretty high around here.
Oh yes, we're still recovering from this ice storm about 10 years ago. So,
Yes.
when you got this job last spring, obviously coming to Augusta, people say the word Augusta. I'm assuming you probably had some friends who said, "Hey, can you get me on the Masters?"
Of course.
What was that reaction like?
First, it starts with a no. I am not even guaranteed to be at the Masters this year. But it's fun banter, and there are a lot of people that are envious of where I am, let alone that maybe the opportunity will open up that I could go attend the Masters in some sort or another this year or in future years. And I'm excited to see what the community will turn into. I've been told a lot of stories and how people may vacate town or how people celebrate the week. But I think to live it will be to know it. So I will be here for Masters Week, even if it's just to watch the community, and maybe something will fall into my lap where I can have an opportunity to go into and see one of the greatest golf courses in the world.
So if someone has any Masters tickets, you are available.
I am available, yes. I have friends that are available to join me as well if there's more than one.
So you've never been to the course?
No, only the outer parts and peek through the fence a little bit. I will be honest, I've definitely walked around the outside and glanced down the pathways.
Okay, well, hopefully that'll happen this year. Okay, so you haven't been to Augusta National, but where have you been? What are some of the interesting places, maybe some of the interesting things that you've done so far in this limited amount of time?
So avid biker, mountain biker, so the trails within this community are amazing, whether it's down the river or they're single track trails in the northern part of the Augusta area that are phenomenal. Some I would say would compete with some of the nationally best tracks you could ride. And that slowed down for me once the hurricane happened. Access to those couldn't be done as quickly. So that's one way that I explore the area. I'm really fond of the historic canal tour that you can do in the museum. I've currently been there 3 times. I love the tour. I love the little boat tour. It speaks to the history of the community, and it's a really quaint little museum to go through. I've been to the Savannah River Walk area. I've dropped my kayak into the canal a little bit, and as you know, probably I'm a whitewater kayak fiend. I love it. So driving my kayak into the water and paddling around matters. I've yet to actually get on the Savannah and go where the falls are. But that's a part of this next spring with the spring runoffs. I've been looking at Google Earth of where are good pathways that there's actually rapids and to be safe. And I know the danger of you don't go to the headwater dam itself. That's really not a healthy place for a kayaker to be. So I want everybody to know, have a safe mindset for getting onto the water. And one of my spring goals is to go to, I guess it's a Donkey Island or something to that effect.
I believe that's correct.
And I'm told to bring carrots and that I will have the joy of seeing donkeys. I've always loved the donkey. I think they're a really cool animal, very loyal, very smart. And to know that they're in the wild here will be a really cool trip that I hope to experience. And then there's fun little things to do within the area too. We have Miller Theater. There's great performances. Broad Street is a great afternoon or evening. My wife and I have enjoyed the farmers market downtown. There's art displays that we've been to from different artists within the area. There's a lot of culture here that we have really enjoyed. So yeah, those are ways that I'm finding my way around.
It feels like you've tapped into a little bit of our area, but there's still a lot left that is untapped.
100% agree, right? There's areas that I've not yet explored deeply. North Augusta, I'm trying to get into and explore that a little bit more. Not yet been to a baseball game. I'm excited to go to a baseball game. I know that season is starting up. Pitchers reported recently. Is that true, Chris?
Pitchers and catchers have reported to spring training. So yes,
Yes.
the Green Jacket season will start in April.
Excellent. And not limited to just the sporting opportunities. Just seeing the area outside of Augusta, going to the small towns that are around. Those have been really fun and enjoyable to see the community.
Yeah. Have you found any places to eat that have interested you or maybe brought you back several times?
Yeah, I'm a regular at Beck's.
Okay.
I will admit that. Very wonderful food. Great little place, limited in the time frame it's opened. Oliviana's seems to always bring me back. They have a nice lasagna or pizzas, so that's
Good.
my go-to for its pizza in the area. And I'm exploring other little restaurants here and there. My wife and I try to go to a new place every week. And so she and I have pretty much covered most of Broad Street.
Okay.
North Augusta, we've covered a few places, so we continue to explore that a little more richly. And then Martinez and Evans, we're just now starting to open up and see where those opportunities would be. I found Gary's.
Okay. Yes.
If you're going to have a cheeseburger, I'd recommend Gary's. That satiates me very well. And then the Joint Pizza.
Pizza Joint. Yes.
Pizza Joint, I apologize. Both in, I think it's Martinez, and then
Downtown Augusta.
And it's a cool little pizza establishment.
That and Mellow Mushroom
Yes,
are outstanding.
Yes, but for good taco, any place you'd recommend?
There are a ton of places.
Nacho Mama's.
Nacho Mama's is a big hit.
I think that's where we're heading to next. That's we're gonna find out our good tacos.
You can never go wrong with Nacho Mama's. It is fantastic. You're a native New Yorker.
Oh yes.
But you lived in North Carolina for many years. Are you a barbecue snob?
No, I'm open to both mustard-based or vinegar-based.
Because I know North Carolina is also known for their barbecue.
100%. And I must qualify. So New York is my birthplace, Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yes.
That's a fun change of bell. Poughkeepsie, New York. And then my parents moved to Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. So I spent my impressionable years of age 10 to 18 in Delaware. Some people say my accent is neutralized from that. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then after undergrad, I was looking for my next opportunities, and I found my way to South Carolina. In graduate school, met my wife, and then she was wonderful to say that we could move back north. That part was North Carolina. That was the limits to that. But spent 28 years in Charlotte and really loved that experience. Great city. And as an empty nester and career-wise, I was ready for my next opportunity. Augusta has been the dream come true of what I was looking for my next step.
Now, we sort of skipped over something. You also played professional soccer as well.
That is true. I played for the Delaware Wizards. There may be a wiki page on Delaware Wizards.
Okay.
But that was early stage between NASL, North American Soccer League, which died away. There was a rebirth of soccer within the United States, especially after we hosted the World Cup. And out of that came the USISL. And it was really a grassroots effort to build soccer back into the United States. Over 250 athletes tried out for this team. It was really wild to watch. And to narrow it down to a roster of 20, I was one of the goalkeepers on that. Played with them for 2 years, 2.5 years really. And although a great opportunity and a great passion to sign autographs and to be a part of really high-level sport, it's not a career maker, and knew that I needed to move on to grad school, and then chose from there, after playing, to be a coach. I coached at a university level, and then on to, this was part of my previous career, of being a high school coach and club coach. But love the game. Even today, the game stays with me. I've had some students here who have asked me to come out and train with them. So you'll see me periodically helping out on the soccer field. You'll see me working with both the girls and the boys teams, I think, over the next span that I am here.
So on weekends, you're watching soccer on TV?
100%, yes.
Okay.
EPL, Bundesliga, La Liga. I keep up with my soccer in the world. And MLS, which, MLS came out of the USISL and grew into the athletic prowess it is today. And I'm very proud of what MLS has turned into. I have many peers who I've played with that are now coaching at that level. So that's kind of fun to see, a former colleague, former athlete peer who's on the bench coaching up people. And if you ask me my MLS team, I am a Charlotte fan.
Okay.
Charlotte FC, because they started there. I was minted there. But I'm also fond of Atlanta. They're a strong group to contend with.
They're just a couple hours up the road,
Just a
too.
couple
So,
hours up the road.
do you have a favorite team over in Europe?
I do. I was a Chelsea fan from age 12 on,
Okay.
Chelsea FC, and I really came about understanding who they were because they did an exhibition game, and I got the chance to see them when I was age 12, and that was the game changer for me. Since that time, I was a loyal fan. I brainwashed my son, Liam, and my family, Emma and Maria, to be Chelsea fans. We've seen them play over 5 times. I've been to the Chelsea Stadium. It's a gorgeous experience. And I could probably name my favorite teams in each of those leagues. But in heart, it's probably MLS for Charlotte and then Chelsea in the ranking.
Now that you're in Augusta, we're big baseball fans here. Have you picked a Major League Baseball team?
I grew up being a specific fan of a specific team that happens to be in the Northeast, and so I'm not. I don't know if I'm well liked if I say what baseball fan I am. So do you really want to know?
It won't break my heart. It'll be okay.
Okay, and it makes sense. I'm a New York Yankees fan by heritage.
Okay, that's fine.
Passed on from generation to generation.
There's a lot of Atlanta Braves fans here.
Yes.
And had you said the Phillies or the Mets, there might have been more of an issue. But
True. And living next to Philadelphia, I attended many of a Phillies game, and I won't comment on those fans. I'm happier to go to probably a Braves game, an Orioles game, or a Yankees game, of course.
So put that on your list to go to a Braves game in the Battery.
I will.
It'll be
I will.
a nice experience.
I love
it. So we're still working on finishing out the first year, and I know it's just flown by. But just what do you see for the next coming years?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot on your platter.
Well, tomorrow night we celebrate the Giles Institute. It's 1 year anniversary of opening, and at that moment, I will also be launching the strategic plan that the Board of Trustees and I have helped partner to create. It's a plan that is flexible and nimble, but it brings the school to continue in its journey of success of being the number 1 school within the area. And I think a board and I, in launching this, gives me a good pathway. I'm a very strategic person and like to have my markers for success. This plan allows me to do that. And the growth of enrollment, the maintaining of faculty at the level that we have, and the facilities of this campus being at the level of expectation are all a part of my goals, not limited to. I think the partnerships with the external community are really an interesting thing for Augusta Prep to embrace. As a school, I think we can be a lighthouse to bringing other professional groups here. The Cyber Center probably served that purpose for many years, and the model of what the Giles Center Institute has been created into, I think that can replace or leverage that for the community. And even today, I was working with Columbia County leaders, and several of them were intrigued of how they could possibly use our facility for their particular business or nonprofit, because I want that institute to be one of curiosity, of inquiry, where it's not just our own families benefiting it, but the whole Augusta community.
Your predecessor left you with a nice STEM facility.
He did. He was a STEM thinker as well. Let's not forget that, as a biology teacher and an econ teacher. And just to note that my predecessor has a nickname too.
Oh.
He most recently moved, of course, as you know, to the Raleigh-Durham area.
Yes.
And they had a snowstorm.
Oh.
And he volunteered to drive the snow plow through campus. And so he is now nicknamed, maybe not as I am nationally and to the region, but he is Snowplow.
Snowplow.
So Elf, you remember Elf? He
Elf,
became
yes.
Snowplow.
I kind of like Chainsaw a little better. You can go a lot of different ways with
little
Chainsaw.
bolder.
So.
It is bolder, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's think about this. Just all you've done so far, and it feels like there's still a lot of things left to do and a lot of places left to see. And when things slow down, you mentioned wanting to do some kayaking and things like that. But have you been able to play golf yet?
I've only got out a couple times to play golf, actually less than I had hoped. I really want to get out and see different courses within the area. So that's on another part of my bucket list. And summer may create a lot more time for that, but I need to build it into my weekends. Hopefully you and I can go out and play a little bit. And,
yeah.
But in the fall, I had a great opportunity to play in the tournament that we host. It's a great fundraiser for our faculty, for the Boardman Endowment, and I played well. My handicap is not one to be proud of, but just the game itself is a joy. It's something that you have camaraderie when you're walking through the course, and as long as you can move on from your frustrations of a few duffs or double bogeys, life can be good.
If your handicap's too good, people might question how good you are as an educational leader.
You go. I like how you've justified that.
So yes. So it's late February now.
Yeah.
In a few months, it'll be graduation. Just summer plans?
You've gotten too far ahead of me. I look to June 1 as the success of that year. And then for summer, it's still a transitional summer. So there is a little vacation built in here and there. We'll probably go down to the beach. Kiowa is a great place to go. I've not yet been. My wife and I have sort of eyed an opportunity in June to maybe go down to Kiowa. And then as a family opportunity, we're going to see Coldplay as a concert. And with 2 college students, the family of 4 going to see Coldplay will be a highlight of my summer, I think.
Oh, nice. Where are they?
If I remember right, they're in Nashville. So that's a bucket list. Have you seen Coldplay?
No, but I've been to Nashville.
Fair. I've been to neither, so that will be a part of this summer's bucket list.
We'll have a further conversation outside of this.
Very nice.
So.
Very nice. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, thank you very much. This has been the first episode of CavsCast with Eric Hedinger, not Hedinger. And we'll keep doing this throughout the year. So thanks very much for listening.
Thanks for having me.